Welcome to my first commentary in absolutely ages. I genuinely do not know the last time I recorded a commentary on any game whatsoever, let alone GT Sport. But it's something that I'm planning to pick up back for the release of GT7. There's a few races that I've got coming up before the release of GT7, and I'm hoping to try and make some videos of them and maybe some daily races as well. But first off, today we have a video from Gr.3. This is a league with quite high level drivers. I haven't raced here since like October, November time, so it was sort of joined back to Discord yesterday and I was allowed to race, so that was pretty cool. I've never driven these cars before. I can show you this clip right here of me literally driving this car out for the first time, and this was my first quali lap and it was pretty poor. It was just a banker lap that you can see playing in the background. I was sort of learning braking points on the fly here. Sort of watching it back right now, I'm sort of cringing at how early I'm braking at certain points, so I'm not really expecting too much from this first lap of qualifying. This corner here, for example, this left-hander up the hill, going up to the run into the corkscrew, I actually shift up into fourth, but if you stay in third all the way up the hill, you gain so much more time there. But yeah, overall it's a relatively tidy lap. There's not too many mistakes. It's just not maximizing the corners and the apexes. Obviously I'm hitting apexes, but I'm not maximizing my corner speed and apex speed, so yeah, I can definitely go a bit quicker here. But yeah, I just wanted to get a time on the board so I wasn't starting last. It's a very, very difficult car to drive, this Jaguar E-Type. You can see I've got a very plain livery. The theme for this, they have this league has, you have to do a separate theme for your livery each week. We have a road car race here. You can see I go 5th provisionally, and I did go out for a second lap, which I messed up the corkscrew actually. But yeah, this league runs 2 races. They run a 20-minute race in road cars, followed by a 40-minute race, or 30-minute race maybe actually, in Gr3 cars. I should know, but I don't, unfortunately. Yeah, for the road car race, you have to use a separate livery each week, and this one was classic theme. So you can see as we go to the grid and look at where we qualified. I think we came 8th in qualifying. Yeah, we did. You can see quite high ratings here. I think there's 3 or 4 guys 60,000+ driver rating, and a couple that are almost A+ as well. So yeah, I mean, I could probably get there if I played this game enough, but I haven't really played too many daily races. I actually just got up to I think about 35k this week from playing some daily races on my lunch breaks at work actually. So yeah, here we go, starting off the race. I am in traction control 1 to kick things off here, and into this first corner I'm just going to take things easy and try and make sure I don't hit anyone in front, because I'm not really too sure about how the brakes are in this car, in all honesty. We do have a look up the inside of DRC here, but it's not going to work for us. We are going to have to back out and sort of bide our time, maybe slot in here into 7th or 8th place alongside Semicolon, and he does have the inside here, so we're going to let him through. The thing with racing road cars is the racing is so close together. Any little mistake and you will probably be overtaken by someone, and it's a lot easier to follow closely, which does make the races so much more intense at the time. It takes a lot longer for the grid to separate basically. A massive dive bomb here from Rocker 944 in the Castrol livery, and he actually gets 2 positions here. But we do have a bit of a run, but we're not going to have much places to go up here on the run up the hill, and we're actually going to have to back out and let Semicolon go through there. But once again, you can see all the way up to what, 4th place is right in a row here. It looks like the first 2 or 3 cars are a little bit ahead, probably about a second ahead of this group of cars, ahead of that silver car. So it looks like those 3 are probably pulling away a little bit. We are going to look on the outside of Semicolon here, but we're not going to get the move done. Sort of trying to set up a cutback and waiting for him to make a mistake. That's the only real way I'm going to be able to get past him right here. He does go a little bit wide there, so we get a bit of a run. I have to think about it down the inside, but I'm not going to go for it. Semicolon completely outbrakes himself and ends up hitting 2 cars and spinning. I'm going to shift up really early here just to slot in behind Rocker and just chill in his slipstream running down here. Hopefully going to follow him down the inside of DRC depending on how things go, but it looks like he might get a move done, so I'm going to brake early so I can react to whatever happens here. Stick really close on the inside. Looks like there's a bit of room for us here, and we're probably not going to have the apex speed because I did have to switch down to 2nd and these cars take so long to shift back up, so if you do go down to second on that corner, you're going to get a much worse exit. A lot of speed here. We're just going to give Rocker the bump, try and get him ahead of DRC JC so we can pick them off one by one rather than having to do two at the same time type thing. Once again, it just feels like every corner we get a bit of a run, but just not enough to get a move done. However, they both get a massive drift on here. These cars are so easy to drift. If you just turn in a bit too soon, you get a massive drift, and we've got to run all the way up the hill. At the time, I actually didn't think I was as far alongside as I was, so I did back out of it, but looking back on the radar, it does seem that I was actually ahead of them, so I probably could have gone for that move. And it was my corner at the end of the day, but you know, I wanted to keep it clean. Having a good decent battle with these guys for the first 2 laps, so I didn't want to cause any crazy incidents. We do set the purple second sector, sorry, but that is just because it's the second lap. Bit of a poor corner there for us, and another pull we get a massive drift on, and that's going to make us lose the slipstream, so we're going to cut on ahead in this race and see if we can catch back up, and we do manage to catch up halfway through the lap. You can see up ahead DRC JC makes a bit of a mistake, he goes wide, and we get a really good run here. Look at this run on Rocker. Look at the difference if you don't shift up into 4th. This time is coming down all the time. We're going to brake early and not go down the inside. Just stay in single file because we do have the slipstream of the car ahead now, and he doesn't have slipstream of anyone, so it should be a bit easier for us to overtake him. Even though the Laguna Seca is a notoriously difficult track to overtake at, but Rocker does get a track limit warning there for the corkscrew. The second apex, if you go ever so slightly onto the green AstroTurf with both wheels, you will get a penalty. Gonna put our nose on his inside to try and put him off, but he does ghost, so we actually end up going straight through him. And look at this, he actually unghosts right on top of us. So it does look like I took him out a little bit. I'm going to lift off the throttle and try and sort of steady him in the right direction and let him back through, just so it doesn't look like I took him out on purpose, because obviously we want to race fair and clean, and if you do something like that, then we're going to let him back through. This league does also have a rule where if you do have a penalty like above your name that you haven't cleared yet, you're not allowed to overtake until you do clear it, which is, I think that's actually a pretty cool rule. And encourages people to not get penalties, because sometimes in these league races you can just brake early and, you know, lift off and coast, and it actually helps you save fuel whilst burning your penalty type thing. DRC JC actually gets up our inside here with a really nice move, but we're not going to go for the inside. We're going to stick behind him so that we don't lose the slipstream of Rocker. It looks like the top 4 are too far ahead, especially the top 3 I know are all 60k plus driver rating. If you look at the top 3 in the lobby right now, I'm not sure who 4th place is, so I can't tell you how he's doing. We absolutely smashed this corner again and get another big slipstream and another big run up to the corkscrew. DRC JC gets a 1 second penalty. I'm not 100% sure what he did to get that, but Rocker actually goes in deep there, so we do get up to 6th position, right in the slipstream of DRC JC with a 0.7 second penalty as we make a little mistake there, getting a bit trigger happy on the throttle, and the rear completely steps out. You sort of, if you watch my braking, I'm never really putting more than like 50% braking unless I'm in a deep braking zone like this, and even then I'm trail braking like crazy into everything, because just the only way you can drive these cars quickly basically. Almost 6/10 behind DRC JC now in the slipstream though, but it doesn't look like we're going to be close enough here into turn 1. There's been a crazy race between ourselves, DRC JC and Rocker throughout the whole race. We're going to brake nice and early. He goes defensive, and look at this, if you stay close we do get a bit of a slide on, so you have to just slam the throttle to try and get the car turned round. But there is an opportunity if he goes in deep there, we might be able to get the move done, but not if we drive like this and completely butcher that corner. We cut it a little bit and then slide in the exit, and that's going to put us right into the path of Manginio behind us. Only 3/10 behind us now, and we've lost the slipstream of DRC JC, so we're going to have to put in some really solid laps to catch up to him. Cutting ahead then, you can see on lap 6 DRC JC goes a little bit wide into that corner, and we were 8/10 behind it, already gained 2/10 throughout that corner, and all the way up this hill we should be gaining. Can we hit this apex? We hit it nicely there. We get the sausage curve to spin us around a little bit. We try and sort of direct him back in the right direction. We do save him, which is, you know, a bit of good sportsmanship, never hurts anyone, and we got the overtake done as well. Skipping on to, I think this is 2 laps later here, we make an absolute hash of that corner then. I don't really know what was happening there. Do manage to save it, check behind us so we can rejoin safely, and we're going to join in behind Too Fast For You here. P6 he is, we're down to P7. Munginho and Too Fast For You just overtaken us. They're also two really quick guys as well, so it'll be good if we can keep up with them. We're going to have to set some really good laps to do that, but our tyres are completely cold and dirty right now, so we're going to have to focus on defending from DRC before we can focus on keeping up with those guys. DRC actually goes to the left here for a really late braking move, but I think he went off track there trying to go around us, and it meant that his tyres were now dirty and he had to brake earlier, but he didn't adjust for that and went flying off into the Shadow Realm. And that was how things ended. We did manage to catch up a little bit with Munginho, but I made a little mistake. I think it was on the previous lap. So we weren't actually able to get the overtake done. I think I did have the pace to catch up with him without that mistake, but you know, it's a shame. P7 isn't too bad. We are going to be reverse grid in the second race, so you see the three fastest guys, P1, 2 and 3. We'll have about 3 cars between us and them, so if we can pull, you know, maybe like a 4 or 5 second gap, maybe even more than that, then we can keep them behind for a bit, and maybe get an undercut in the pit stop if we feel safe. So here we go for the second race at Monza. This is a 30-minute race, I believe, in the Gr.3. My chosen car for the Gr.3 season is the Mercedes. I have to use this at every race, even if it's not good for the car. So at this track here, you start looking at the F-Type will be pretty strong, the Corvette will be pretty strong, and the Mercedes will be okay. It won't be towards the end. It won't be towards the back of the pack by any stretch of the imagination. The Alpha to my right, on the other hand, that one might be. We do have full starts on, so we're going to have to hold the brake. I know it's quicker to hold the handbrake, but I always forget what's my handbrake button out of square and circle, so I just play it safe and hold the brake. We do get a really good start there though. The Mercedes is a pretty decent starting car, I think. We've made like 2 or 3 positions. This Subaru on the left, I think, pay a little bit of attention to him. He's a little bit dodgy in a race. We do get a little bump from behind there, and I'm not sure if the Subaru could see me or not, because if we look over here on the exit, he just sort of like turns left into me as we're going through this corner. He keeps like nudging me further and further onto the grass, like instead of leaving me the room that I deserve. Once again, another push. I actually do touch the grass that time, so we're going to back out and let him sort of have this corner, or are we going to go around the outside? I was going to say, I thought I did back out, but it looks like he does outbrake himself a little bit and hits into the Lexus there. We're going to overtake the Lexus around the outside though. Have a little look, but there's nothing where we can, there's nowhere we can go here. We're just going to have to stay in the train and wait for a gap to open up. You can't really make it 3 wide in the Lesmos at Monza. It's not really smart. Bit of lag there from the Subaru as we hit a cone and it goes completely flying. In the slipstream here, the Ferrari looks like he's having a bit of a bad run, so we might be able to make a move on him, but I think we're going to have to be far more concerned with that Corvette behind us. Ismail Truth has already got all the way up here, and you see there's a little bit of a collision up ahead, and we just get shunted from behind in front of that Ferrari. I thought that was pretty funny at the time. I didn't really know what to do here. I didn't know to give the position back or not, but I thought I didn't cut that corner on purpose. I've just been shunted through, as the Aston Martin has incredible straight line speed. There is no way we're going to overtake that when he's in the slipstream. He does brake really early though here, and we just ghost through him because he has his penalty. I didn't really expect him to brake that early. I think he was trying to get rid of his penalty, and you know, we got the move done, so why not? We're now in the slipstream of this Subaru up ahead. I'm pretty sure the Subaru doesn't have the best straight line speed. I don't think he has the slipstream of the car ahead either, so we might be able to get this move done, get away from this Subaru that we had a little bit of contact with on lap 1, and we go down the inside here of the Subaru and we brake at a similar time. You can see down to first gear, we do get forced onto the curb a little bit here as our cars sort of stick together a little bit, and we both get a bit of a slide on there. That does really hamper our exit. We have this Aston Martin, which I said earlier has a great straight line speed. We try to get in the slipstream with the Subaru, but we have to leave him room on the right hand side. We're not going to squeeze him onto the grass like happened to us in the first lap. And look at that speed that Aston Martin has, and it sounds incredible as well. He really does have a really nice car, and I think Aston Martin's up there with the cars that I would have chosen, but I just thought let's choose something all round. Let's go with a Mercedes. He gets a little bit of oversteer on the exit of that corner and leaves us room on the outside, which is really nice. We're going to try and hold it around the outside, but it's really tough to do that in the Lesmos as the Corvette gets past us as well. The Subaru goes wide and he's going to have really dirty tyres, so we're going to have to brake really early for him, and he doesn't for some reason. He gets a bit of oversteer and comes back onto the track. quickly, but we're in the slipstream of the Corvette. And I know this Corvette's one of the quicker guys in the lobby. I think he's actually got the second highest DR out of everyone when I checked pre-lobby. So we're just going to try to stick behind him, save some fuel maybe, and sort of try and follow him through the pack a little bit if possible. As we get a bit of a corner cut on there in the Ascari, I think we might get a penalty for that. Let's have a look, see if we get one down this straight. Yeah, 0.5 seconds, so that is bad for us because the Corvette's going to be past this Aston Martin here surely, and I was going to try and get past the Aston Martin as well into turn 1, but we're not going to be able to burn this penalty in time, so I'm not going to be able to overtake this Aston Martin. Gonna have to bump draft him or something just to try and get the Aston to stick with the car ahead. As I said before, obviously this league does have the rule about no overtaking with a penalty, so normally I would have gone for this, like it would have been an easy overtake on the Aston Martin, but we can't. We're gonna have to brake really early, try and burn all my penalty in this corner if I can. Can't quite do it though, or can we? We can throughout the second apex. Get a little bit of oversteer, we managed to catch it. We got the other Mercedes right behind us as well. And we're back in the slipstream of the Aston Martin. There's another car up ahead that's a bit slow. I think that's a BMW Z4. If so, that's really not a good car on this track. He's done well to stay up ahead for that long. And he brakes really early, and it means that we almost get down his inside. We're going to leave him some room though. And he leaves us some room as well on the exit. We're going to try and hold it round the outside here. And we do manage to. That's a really nice overtake there. I really like that one. But unfortunately, we have lost the slipstream of the Aston Martin ahead, and he does have the slipstream of that Corvette that I was talking about earlier. So we've got two choices here. We've either got the person behind us, who I know is another one of the quicker guys in the lobby. We can let them past us and try to follow them through, or we can try to catch this Aston Martin on pace with the slipstream deficit. Let's see what we do. Hit this corner really nicely, and we actually gain like 2-3 tenths in Ascari by absolutely nailing it. So if we can stay in the slipstream down Parabolica, we might be able to stay ahead of the Mercedes behind us and maybe even get the overtake done on the Aston Martin, as it looks like he might have lost the slipstream from the car ahead. We have a little peek and we can see that second place is really far ahead, so we're definitely going to be able to get this move done. Well, you would expect if he was in any other car, you would expect we could get this done, but that Aston Martin is very powerful. You can see we're barely gaining. We're now starting to gain. As we set our best lap of the race, it's still like 2 seconds off the fastest lap. It's only a 49.5. You know, in Gr.3s you can do like 46s. So yeah, we do brake very late, and we managed to get the move done into turn 1. So yeah, that should be that done. He gets a pretty poor exit as well. You can see we gain like 4.5 tenths throughout the exit speed, but look at the time come down. If you take a look in that top left corner, he's gaining like crazy. He might be able to challenge us into this corner. You can see he's appeared on the radar. We're going to go very defensive into the chicane, brake on a normal spot, and hopefully we'll be able to cover him off here so he won't be able to go anywhere. Park it on the apex. Park it on the second apex as well. He gets a little bit of a run, but he won't have enough to get around up our inside there. He's literally just going to have his like front bumper alongside, so that's not enough to go for a move. Cutting a few laps down, here we are coming out of Parabolica. We've got Ram Lioness right behind us. We're going to let them past down this straight. I think they actually go to try and work with us and bump draft us, but I'm just thinking I'd rather sit behind them and save some fuel. No, they don't actually go to bump draft us. That's a little bit of information for later on when they try bump drafting me. But yeah, we just stick it into mix 3, and I think we leave it in mix 3 for pretty much the whole lap here, just sat behind them. But we are going to skip ahead because we're not going to go for a move on them. We're just going to try to stick in the slipstream. Here we go, cutting a few laps ahead. You can see we're about 1.5 seconds behind the car ahead. That's just because of our fuel saving, and you can see we've still got 1 lap left when the other 3 cars are pretty much like out of fuel. So if we skip to the end of that lap, we did get a little half-second penalty throughout that lap, but it was a really good in-lap. It genuinely was a really good in-lap, and we're going to put our fuel in and see where we come out. We were 1.5 seconds behind the car ahead before the pit stop, so if they got held up in any traffic or anything like that, we might be able to get an undercut. I think it will be close. Let's have a look. We're about 3-4 seconds off the lead and about 1.5 seconds behind P3, and I tell you what, we're close to P1 and 2, look at that. What's that, 1.5-2 seconds behind P1 and 2, and about 1.5-2 seconds to the car behind as well. So we've done a really good job there undercutting them. Problem is, I didn't expect to undercut them that much. I think I might have underfueled, and taking a look at my fuel, I realized that I had accidentally underfueled. I put a few too little laps in, and you can see here the car behind trying to bump draft me. I'm in like mix 6 at this point. Like, oh no, I'm not. I'm meant to be in mix 1. I move it to like mix 5. I've been doing like pretty much all of the second sector on mix 5, so I'm going to be losing time like crazy to these guys. I've got no chance of battling. Maybe if I put 1 or 2 laps extra, it might have cost me, what, 1-2 seconds? So I would have came out similar to P3, but with the underfueling, it just meant I had no chance I could battle with them. You see here as we skip ahead to lap 15, this is towards the end of the race. It was just a pretty lonely second stint for me, to be honest. I've lost about 10 seconds to the car ahead as we go past P3, who's had an incident. I think he was one of the two that was battling in the lead, as the person in the Mercedes Ram Lioness does go into P1. Coming across the line here, you can see there's only 5 seconds as we cross the line, 4 seconds as we cross the line. The car behind is just over 4 seconds behind, and I was praying that they were going to get cut off, but they actually managed to make the line. We're on 6 fuel mix at this point, and you lose about 10 seconds being on 6 fuel mix. You can see like, what, 22 seconds behind the leaders, and already 1 corner later we're now 24 as we make a hash of this chicane, but we won't talk about that. We were going to get overtaken here anyway, and I'm just sort of short shifting like crazy trying to make it to the finish line here. Just so frustrated at myself that I underfueled the car, because it would have been a P3 minimum for me if I fueled it properly. As we come across the line here, you can see 0.0 laps remaining as we set lap about 10 seconds slower, just as I said previously. 148, yeah, 148, that can't be right, that would be my best. 158 it would have been. But yeah, P4 went up 5 positions, a very successful second race actually. P7 and P4, we came in the 2 races as we collect prize money. But yeah, that's how the race went. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to try and upload the final rounds of this series. I think there's 3 rounds left before the release of GT7, and I might have some daily race content as well, depending on what races I can find. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.